Riley said no, don't sing.
No. Riley said yes.
Riley likes the singing.
Yes. And if Andy Perriman's here, I know he's aching to hear me sing. What should I sing this morning? Some Elvis Presley? Yeah. I got it on my mind anyway. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. How's that? Golf clap.
You get bravo from Angie.
Seen it. Give me a golf clap.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I got something really cool to cover today. I was gonna do some new page developments on our BEB project. We have a lot to do there. However, I think it's really important that I review change. So we've made some changes in the way we put people through the system, and the thing about change is, first of all, it's constant. Second of all, it does cause people to like put the brakes on and then like slow down. And even though it's good, it's kind of like, you're coming, it's it's kind of like a yellow light in business. Are we, are we stopping to go, or are we, stopping and have to relearn? It's kind of a change, right? We know it's yellow. We know we got to be aware. And we know it's going to be, and everybody's used to a yellow light being a green light. And what it is really, it's just a yellow caution light, not a red light. This change is just a yellow caution light. We're making things better. And so I'm going to spend today primarily covering that. Okay, I'm going to primarily cover that, and I'm going to walk through the entire process, even though it's, again, repetition is the mother of all learning. You guys, we get to bring people in, show them a better way, and teach them how to fish in a way that creates sales and marketing. I mean, we do exactly what we say we do. All right, I'm going to go here to the view on the gallery real quick. Say hi to everybody. Tom DiBartolo just had a birthday. He shares a birthday with Niall, and I've been looking for him to say happy birthday. And you now I was like, I'm gonna find Tom today. There he is. Missed you on Tuesday. We're gonna fix that. Yeah, yeah. So Winston, you're there. I wanted to point that out. You came out with the gusto of a start. I want to make sure that you pay attention today and just get going on it. Everybody that knows how to do a BRT, that's been, and I say no, like you've been doing it, like you guys, I'm going to make everybody's life better, but we're going to really spell it out today. I was normally I do this in the instructor calls, and I was going to, we're going to do all that, but some things just take longer to really cover. And so I'm gonna use the 2 hours today and hopefully get more people to understand that this is a really positive change and what you need to do. Okay, and what you need to do. So let me hello Chris Babb. Congratulations. And we'll talk later. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I mean I'm looking at guys, we have my senior on here, Frank. Hello, Karen. We have a lot of Karens. Karen Needham, Karen Sichi. I don't think we've talked. All right, I'm bouncing around. Hello, Joe. I'm glad you're here. Tony Martin, glad you're here. You know the stuff. Kenny McNabb, you know how to do all the stuff. Dr. Rebecca, thank you for keeping me posted on the updates on that. Let's see. Hello, Jen Smiley. Bonnie, I'm glad you're here. Nell, okay, awesome, awesome. Look at the picture. Paulette. All right, and this, I have so many examples on where to go with this, guys. Okay, so this is a new process, sort of. It's doing the same things we're doing. It's just organized to work within a team setting. Okay, so as a CEO or a manager of people, our job is to use people's strengths. Our job is to train them in where they need strengths. Okay. And so I want to make sure that we're doing all the above. And I also want to make sure that we are doing it in a way that creates monetary gains. Okay. We need to be creating income. We're moving products and services, and we're doing it in a very effective way in growing teams, but also the customers. And we've got to focus on what brings the money in. Okay. Now I'm gonna put this out there. A lot of people that come into Triple R247 have never had a business before. They've been employees. They've worked for someone else. They've shown up to work 10 hours, get paid for 10 hours, and all the things that tie to that, right? We've been, conditioned to, pay for our gas and our transportation and our clothing to fit the office attire, to drive to an office or drive to the place of work, and then commute back. And and our travel time isn't usually monetized, right? They don't pay you to commute to the office, whether it's 15 minutes or an hour and a half or 2 hours each way, all the above. And I spelled out what we get offer people is, hey, this is a transition for some people. This is like their third or fourth career in their lifespan. This is a new beginning for some. This is a way to retire and get what you don't have from your retirement. This is a way to just be part of something and keep active. This is a way to take care of the family and help raise the kids and put them through college. All the different aspects of life and the areas of life this allows us to do. And it comes with a lot of mixtures of things, right? We have people who can spend an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 4 hours a week, 1 hour a week, only Saturdays, Sundays. And then we have people that can do it full time, as much as they can put into it. They love it. They work 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, and everything around that, right? So we have that. And then we also have skill sets. What some people are comfortable doing, what people aren't doing. And we got to make it fit into a monetary gain and the structure where everybody can win. Let's take it for what it is. It's it's a lot of moving plates in the air, right? It's a lot of balancing. And as a leader, you got to be aware of all that is and then try to get them there. And then you got to take in account motivation, taste, who's going to sit there and drive it nonstop and push on it, vacation times, people taking time off, other priorities kicking in like family, they got to go take care of mom, whatever it is, there's all these things that we got to factor in. And I think about it and I go through it. And then we also have the same factors as we're bringing people in, right? We have great marketing, bringing people in by the droves that want to do something like this. And then it's a matter of working with them and understanding who's ready to go now, who needs to take weeks to learn it, who's just putting this as something they really want to get to, but they have a lot of other priorities and all these things that when can someone actually get going? Okay, and it's a lot. All right. And then you compartmentalize everything, and then it comes down to this, right? It comes down to this. How bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? And you can only control what you can control. You can only control your time, your aspects, what you're pushing into it. And then you've got to find a way to get everybody else to fit into what you're trying to drive as a leader. And this is where there's challenges, but there's also a method or methodology that I'm going to go over that just works. And I've stated it before, but I haven't gone into the details of it like I think I need to. And I think some people just need to hear this. Okay. And and this is how we get around a lot of these things is what can you control? What can you not control? Right? I can't control if Angie is going to show up and work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's up to Angie. Right? But what I can do is make sure that Angie knows what she needs to do, and Angie's trained on doing the stuff. And if she shows up, she learns it, and then trust that she's there. And then when Angie brings somebody in, if Angie isn't there to help them, I just got to step in. At some point, I got to realize I want this and I want to get this going and I want to help build with those that are there. And if somebody's willing to show up, I'm going to be there to train them. I'm going to be there to pick up the pieces and push ahead because my vision, my whys, my directions are strong. They got to be. I got to lead with my own directions, right? So, and that's going to be the same for anything, any business, any opportunity, any job. It comes down to this, right? Not everybody works their job right. Not everybody shows up right. Some people are there, they're really not there. It's the same issues we're dealing with humans. It's not unique to Triple R, but we need to understand it when we're trying to develop leadership and grow people into it. You guys, there's a reason corporate America spends fortunes to teach and management and leadership to their employees. There's a reason. Okay, we have to do the same thing here. Just because we created an awesome vehicle that people can work whenever they want, they can get out of it as much as they want, they can work in this open environment, doesn't mean we got rid of the human problems of growth, understanding, maturing, how to work with others, leadership skills, all that. It's still here, right? No one just went through. Unfortunately, no one just read my book and realized, oh, I better show up on time for myself. My word should be my bond. I should run a calendar. I should be all organized. I should, help everybody grow and prosper and do all this. It doesn't kick in, right? That's why you got to constantly train and manage. But back again, what I can do is show up with those that show up and just go forward. And you've got to get to where you work in a number situation and not be married to the outcome of every individual, but trust the process and just feed the individuals in to see who's going to actually work, who's going to actually show up. It's not different than corporate America on that aspect. It's because you're going to hire people and hope they show up for their job, and when they don't, you're going to hire somebody else to go do it. The difference here is we don't fire anybody. We get paid based on what we actually do and what we perform on, not just for showing up. So I want to really stress this so you guys understand it, because there's no reason to pause what we're doing. What we've just put in place allows us to run even better because we can help people get past one of the biggest stopping points of success here. Now, I'm going to walk through this path, but I want you guys to know everything that's laid out is to create success for those that are willing to show up for themselves in lieu of what other people do. And the only way you overcome it is sheer numbers. So the more PBS students you bring in, the more PBS students you train and duplicate, the more you're going to win. But in order to get there, the numbers are going to be just constant. You're going to need to bring in 2, 3, 4 a week, 2, 3, 4 a week, 2, 3, 4 a week, and train those that show up. And so we had to make it really easy for the training process. We got to make it really easy to grasp. And I'm going to tell you what we do wrong and what we need to get better at doing. What we do wrong is we spend a lot of time with people that aren't doing the training, and we spend a lot of time training them when we should be building our business. It's what happens. So I've broken down every aspect of what we do, and I've proven it out. And it's working better than anything we've done before. And now it's getting everybody to beat to that same drum and go. If you bring in a person and they're not going to show up and do the work, you just got to wait for them to do it. But what you can't do is just wait on them. You need to bring other people in. It's just like you're hiring more staff to run your business. You can bring more partners in. If your partners aren't showing up as they said they would, as you hoped they would, as you wanted them to do, you just got to bring in more partners. And the thing about it is the downside is you just got to keep working and bringing people in. But the upside is if anybody kicks in down the road, You created that momentum that can give you that surge. Some people are late to bloom. Some people bloom early. Some just have so much going on in their life. Their intent is great, but their execution is going to be thwarted because they've got to sort out their life still. They've got to make time for this. They got to make room for this. They got to set their priorities right. And you don't have time to sit there and wait on yours. You need to push ahead and bring more team members in. And the thing about it is what we built allows anybody to jump in and get going whenever they're ready. And that's why we have the study halls. That's why we have a steady flow of how we do things and we make it a line out there. Remember, people are volunteering to fix their financial and time situations with RRR247. As we lead and as we're building ours more, we want to work with and gravitate and build a team, but you want a team that's showing up. You want a team that's there. But you also got to make room for those whenever they're ready. The system does all of that. Like all these problems I've already seen, I've already dealt with, and I've been tweaking things until I found a way that works. You guys, it is so solid right now. But I want you to understand why we do it the way we do. Why is it built that way? And if you build it properly, I can pull myself out for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and everybody still runs without me. If your business can't run without you, you're a slave to your business. Everything here is designed to get your teams to be self-sufficient without you so that they can create more people that are self-sufficient. This is not anything that should be tied into me. No one should be having a thumb on there. No one should be like having their work overchecked and someone over their shoulder. This is not that environment. Ever. We have a way to do things. We have process to do things. And if everybody does them in the same process, it's all these things handle themselves. Now, there's so many ways and reasons that people can, come up with the excuses on why they don't do what they need to do for their business. And what I'm going to say here is this. You got a triple R, and that's why we teach it. RRR, reset, refocus, recommit. The thing that you can control what you can control. Keeping on the path, doing what you set forth to do. If you set time aside to do your remarketing, make sure you're focused on doing your remarketing. You're not sidetracked. You're not doing anything else. You make it a priority. People will make their jobs a priority because they got to bring the money in to pay the bills. Well, you treat this the same. It's going to pay the bills. Right? Your commute to this opportunity is, you light up your computer, you're good, you're commuted. Once you connect to the internet, your commute's done. And then you just do the right activities and the right sequence of time, and you're going to push forward. And you're going to duplicate as you duplicate this with your teams. I want to cover the philosophy. Now I'm going to break down how we walk somebody through the system. I'm going to cover the marketing aspect of how it is now. And then I want you guys to engage, right? You're here. You guys are dedicated. And you want better. You want more. Well, get it. We've laid out everything. Yes, we have amazing people. And you guys, every person we talk to is a consumer. Every person we talk to is a consumer. Not only that, but we offer amazing things that everybody can utilize. Things that enhance their life, the longevity of their life, their quality of life, their access to, spending less. You guys, what we offer people is a way to do more with what they have, more with their time, more with their money, and how to create wealth and how to create time freedom and financial freedom. Just so we all know where the goal is, it's there. That's what it is. So we have this vehicle to do it. And this vehicle allows us to make money from internet broadcasting of our digital printing press of our PBS, marketing products, gaining customers that we get paid every time they order. It's all done. We just got to like deploy it out there, and we get to cross market. We get a circular market. So even as we're growing our teams, we're growing our customer base because we're all consumers. It's very well time spent. And then as we duplicate the growth with our teams, we're also leveraging our growth for what we're going to gain in our individual businesses and with our partnerships. Okay, so I'm gonna share this. Okay, so we start. I have this V marketing. I'm gonna pull up the instructor page, and we're gonna go through this whole flow thing. And and actually, I need to redo this right now. Maybe we do that now. So let's go here. Everything starts with the conveyance of an idea or sharing what we have right in RRR247. Now we have student leads that are coming in every single day, every day, right? 1,000 to 2,000 are processing through our system every single day. Okay, now those are put into our CRM, and we work on that. And I'm not going to go over the CRM right now as far as pulling it up and utilizing it, but what I want to show you is step by step what happens. And the more you get comfortable with this, the better. Okay, so BRT, we get them into the Keystone presentation, and this is a whole learning experience and skill set by itself. It really is. And we make sure they have the book. Okay, and I noticed that even in my BRT presentation, I make sure they have the book as I'm going into it. I want to make sure they know that as a reference point. I like to, bring that up there that we have a written user manual behind what we do for them to learn the lingo and all the aspects of this marketing that we do. All the stuff behind it explains it. And and the whole goal of the BRT is to get them to watch the Keystone presentation and then to get their PBS ordered and set up. Okay. Now, those that understand the VIP process, we go and do it here. For training purposes, if you're hearing this, you're probably not ready for the VIP stuff anyway, so don't worry about it. This is a brilliant program, allows us to utilize even more marketing and help people grow faster. They're also working with a team that is very active, full time, and growing. It's that's what that is. Okay. Now, after we got on their PBS, we make sure that they have read the book completely, read or listened to it completely, not halfway through it, not three-quarters of the way, not a few chapters left. They've read or listened to the whole thing, and we schedule session one, making sure they know that that's what they're supposed to do. That's their initial homework, if you will. Then we go into session one, and you guys, session one goes pretty dang smooth. It's meant to. It's meant to let the heavy lifting be done in the videos. You guys, we did all of our get to know the person in the BRT. We get to know them, we get to listen to them, and that's the whole structure of it. The more you understand where they're at, what they want to do, what their background's in, you get all that here. And then once you're going into session one, this is where you're taking over and you're leading them to get things set up. Session one and session two are all about them getting understanding and set up to build a business with us. And then obviously they're going to go build their system, and then they're going to get into session three, which is where we take advantage of the B marketing and everything else. So we get into session one. Now I got session one pulled up here. I'll stress that, if for any reason there's something in that BRT that you felt like you didn't do right, or maybe didn't get enough information, or, make sure you cover it right from the very beginning of session one. All right. So I usually take about 10 to 15 minutes to talk to them here. And sometimes I don't need to. The BRT went really well and I covered all the points. This is only 5 minutes, right? It's just getting them into session one, right? And I got some notes in here, and I got the stuff that's spelled out. And this is pretty much verbatim what I'm going to tell them what we're going to do, right? I get them on the phone. I say, okay, we're going to get going. In step one, I'm going to send them the email of session one email, and that's located in the flow, right? I send them the session one email, and that takes them to session one, right? Which is an hour and 10 minutes. Okay. So right here, verbatim is what I tell them. This is the structure. This is all based on the direction we're going and what's there. All right. And so I tell them that's the beginning of session one. Then I have them watch this, and this is what I tell them. You guys, this is verbatim what you need to say. And if you need to modify it so it's easier for you to say the same words, that's fine. But this is what you say. Right. And then I have them watch session one, and then they're going to call me back when it's done. Right. And then we're going to go into, I mean, it's all spelled out. Let me go to session one. Or sorry, they watch that. And then I'm going to send the PBS one, welcome to your system. Okay. And I get them to log in. Getting them to log in, I always tell them it's the hardest thing. Right. Um, and you walk them into it, get them to log into it. And then here's the things you need to say. And this is basically, you can read this verbatim, but you want to make sure you cover all of these points. All these points. And then you're going to get them to go visit their site in the top left. And you're going to explain the homepage and the posts, right? And then you're going to teach them the menu systems. Oh, I'm going to just do an edit as we go through. There we go. I think I might have another one of those too. And then I walk them through the arts and entertainment category to click on. And then I have them, I walk them right through that, explain the two. Then I have them go to the health and fitness category. I explain what a category page is. And then I go right here to explain, the video on biohacking and better you, right? And then I recap before I have them watch the video. Then I send them while they're watching that video, right? 50 minutes. It's 50 minutes and 20 seconds right now. And I send them the Zoom meeting link while they're watching that. So then when they're done and they call me, pretty great, right? And then I said, now I'm sending an email titled Zoom meeting link. Please open and connect me to the Zoom room. And as long as it takes to get them into Zoom. Some people have never been to Zoom before. Some have been in, they get right in. Some just need to download things and get it going. They need to use Zoom eventually, so take care of it then, right? And then I take them right through the enrollment of the Velveeta process. Now this, you probably could add more to spell out. I think this is where people get a little hung up. But I literally just walk them through the enrollment and take the order. They've already watched the video. It explains everything. Right? If there's a promotion, I'll cover the promotion. But I always stress that if they're an ambassador, right, they're going to get 50% instead of 20%. And but they can start out as a promoter influencer. They have 8 weeks to pay the difference, get the difference. And I think I need to spell that out. Okay, I'm going to spell that out, right? Um, I'm gonna go ahead and make this blue. Let's see. I think I like that blue. You guys, and this is something I wanted to just type out live today, kind of go through this. I mean, this is one of the most important things we do is get people started and how we do it, right? I'll go ahead and bold it. There's also something else that I say. I'm gonna make a one more change here. Hold on. Yeah, this is something I've been saying, and it made a way to crystal clear, like cover it. So I want to add that there, and then I do cover the rest. So these are the things to say when you're getting them into the presentation. Then they watch the presentation, and then pretty good, right? We go through here, and then this is what I walk them through to get them in, right? And what I feel very good giving you guys this because the confidence is going to change when I go from the very base of how we do RV marketing. So all this is here. All this is what we go down to. When they enroll as an ambassador or a promoter or an influencer, I'm going to go modify their site. If for some reason, right, they bow out of signing up, they're like, I wasn't ready to do this today. I can't do this right now. They can't even go promoter. Then, then I then put them in as an affiliate. I still modify their links, but I also like to know when they're going to upgrade. You think you can do it in a week, in 2 weeks? When do you think you can upgrade? I call out a time for them to do it. And some of them are like, I can do it next payday, whatever it is, and then I will add it up there, right? Right, if they say that, like, I got several for the next week. They're, I can do it on the 28th. I can do it then. You want to follow up, all right? You want to put if. Okay, now this is really important. I put this on here, right? If they're going the affiliate route, okay, and I'll just bold this so it's there. Get a timeline when they can upgrade, then set a date. But you also want to keep track of them, right? Now, if you're, like I have hundreds of affiliates now over the years, hundreds that we brought in. We got hundreds that come in and sign up all the way. And when there's a big promotion, if they're active, they're doing stuff. This is the time to a call to action, and we get a lot of people that'll sign up that week or that 3 day period or whatever it is, right? And you just know who to follow up with. That's why you want to keep track of that, right? This is minding your business, and those that are tenacious in the follow up and what I call the catching up process, you're going to win. People got to be shown what to do, told what to do, guided what to do. It's it's part of the growth. They're not going to become free thinkers and understand it until they become free thinkers and understand it. Like, we have a lot of people here now that if we were to roll out a new thing, they'd be like, Rory's rolling out a new thing. There's a reason. It's going to make us money, and they're just going to do it because the trust has been built, right? You understand, right? So, but a lot of people got to be told what to do. They're used to being told what to do. They got to be prompted on it, and they got to be reminded sometimes. Now, I'll also tell you that once they go into the training, it is made very clear why we do Velavito, why we do the PBS Vortex, why we do Savings Highway Global, how they all connect, and why it all works the way that it does. It's done over and over again, and that's why I tell people, don't be shocked when they just upgrade and do it on their own, because they finally see the value. It makes sense. If people understand the value, we don't just buy things to buy things. It's got to make sense, right? It's got to be something we need, we want, we desire, and we're ready to get at that point. We're ready to pull the trigger. There's a lot of things that go into the buying process. We're supporting all of those in the training and the actual marketing that we do, because we marketing. Everything has to be conveyed. Nothing sells itself, right? So then we're going to send them into session two, and they're going to have their homework to go through for session two. And I want to tell you guys, there is something that we added in this process, and it's right here when we go through first, second, third, first, right? So hold on. I tell them doing first, second, third, and I want you guys to see something in case you haven't seen it recently. I'm gonna go to the Triple R page. Right, we take them through here. We got first, second, third. This a couple of things for them to get out of the way. The training one they go to. This is our basic page. It has our core values and vision. And everybody's already had the book, but it's there again. And then I tell them like I want you to go through the core values and know what to expect and how we treat people here. Right? This is a fun place to work, and I want you to understand why. And this is what you should be expecting from us. And then right here, you guys, we added this. And I'm so grateful Candace found this. Someone put on their page, and guys, I thought this was all lost. It's a really good training, and until I do it again, this is where it's at. But this is an hour long, all on taste, and right here we have it, and it's in sign language, so it's really cool to see. But this is why it lists. Hey, guys, this is one of those recordings back when we did conference calls before Zoom.
All right, so I want to reflect on us, right, individually. You know, whatever brought you into the training or whoever brought you here, you can give them a
Let them know it's there to watch, and they're gonna get some stuff out of it. Because it was good to have that back there. That was a really good training. That's timeless. It's a timeless training on the taste, and that I bring up because that is still one of the biggest problems with getting somebody to go forward. Is getting them to realize they're worth more. They're worth more in all senses, but whatever they made before doesn't depict their value, right? And people would need to adjust their taste if they want more. If you want to have a more comfortable life, you got to adjust your taste. And that recording's good. I'll do it again. I'm sure another one. But until then, we have this, and I'm so glad that that was put up there in that manner. So and I tell them it's there, right? I don't stress they have to listen to it before the next thing. I say this is something really good for you to hear, but know that this is here because when you're working with somebody and they're all gusto and they get going and then they phase out, this is what phases them out. We self-sabotage. So just know this is here. Okay. I just want to point that out there because I added that recently. Okay, it's there. I let them know it's there. Then I let them know you're going to go right from that to enroll in the email system for updates. You're going to follow Rory on Facebook also to get updates. And then they go right to step one, right? And on step one, there's session one, which they've already done. And then there's session two here. Okay. Now they're going to go to session two. Now, right now, this video is 55 minutes, 5 seconds. Now, I always say that this could update and change. We've got even better stuff. Like what we do now is even better. But, they've already gone past the Velveeta side. I let them know that, there's a couple more costs coming up, but they want to ask about it. It's there. But I bring them here. So you're going to watch the 55-minute video, 55-minute and 5-second video that's going to walk you through everything. And I do this. I'm going to show you something really quick. It's going to explain everything in here. But what I want you to see is this right here. And I come right down. It's down right here. I say, this is the monthly overhead. I say, and I let them know, like, it used to be $450. We did a big thing to reduce it down to here, but it's actually less than this. I say, you're hosting, 1995. It's, that's pretty much rounded up. Memes, you're going to get this eventually. It's $10.99. Velveeta, we put it at 100, but if you do it the right way, it's like $60, which if they buy two, you guys, if they buy 2 boxes, it counts for 3 months. Like the way that it works now. So I let them know that it's really like 60. I let them know it's that. And I said the PBS Vortex is 60, the Savings Highway Global is 20. But there's advanced SMS marketing. Rory and Tanya figured out, which we did, how to put it into the PBS Vortex. So that's not even there. So this really is like $180. And that's to do everything, to get everything to do what Rory does, to get what Rory gets. That's your overhead. And I say, and then I roll down here and it just takes a few customers. I go, look, this is the marketing cost. It doesn't cost you anything. No matter how much you build your business, Rory and Tanya cover the marketing. So your overhead doesn't go up. And they're spending way more money than you're ever spending to support you and build with you. You just got to take advantage of it. And then they come down here and I said, look, you just get a few customers, you can see where the money comes in. And then you just keep pressing it more and more. And that's how it grows. It's all measurable. I walk them through that part. And then I set up my session 2 appointment. And when we do the session 2 appointment, so I'm going to close this. Cancel. Hold on. I guess I gotta hit save. Then session 2 appointment, right? I'm gonna go there. And I they watched all that before. Now I'll put this as just a guideline. I think it's best like they soak in all that stuff. They just signed up in Bella Vita. We've modified their links, right? You've got to do that. You modify the links. They see you do all that work for them, and they also see how easy it is to migrate and move around the pages, right? They're not modifying pages yet. Then we do session 2, and that's all on Zoom. And and then you're going to go through all the sense, right? So I say everything you watch in the homework makes sense, absolute sense, right? Now remember, if for some reason they didn't watch the session 2 video, you can't walk them through it all. You just got to reschedule. I have not had to reschedule a session 2 ever, other than if the time wasn't right for them. But I haven't had to do this ever when I get on the phone because if someone has a problem getting it, I've stressed the importance of it. They'll let me know like, "Hey, Rory, I know we have a meeting tomorrow. I have not been able to do the homework yet," and then we reschedule. But I have not had to do it once when we get on the phone with them. Like they're ready to go. Or they tell me ahead of time because I tell them they got to go through all this to understand things. And by now it really makes sense. So now if they watch session 2, it connects all the stuff, all the circular things, everything makes sense. I always ask them, right? First thing I say, everything you watch in the homework makes absolute sense, right? Now I go, now you understand there are 2 anchors, PBS Vortex and SHG, correct? So today we're going to get you set up in anchors 2 and 3, and we will get those links modified in your PBS. They just watched me do it in the Bella Vita setup, and I'm going to help them more. It's important they understand that because we're not just telling them to do things, we're guiding them and helping them do it. There's value to that, and you've got to stress it. And then I go, then you're into learning the art of performance blogging. And meanwhile, myself and the team will be building your business, just like we are already with Anchor One. All right. Now, if you're doing a really good pace, you may have added people under them already. Because if your pipeline's going great and you're doing things, you're going to be adding people at a very regular basis. And this is a good time to bring it up there. So, like, if I have somebody underneath them, let them know, oh, we've already added people underneath you. And if I haven't, then I say the truth. But I can say like, oh, there's things are in motion right now. We already got that going. That's fine. From here, you'll be modifying your pages to make you the author and completing the setups in Google AdSense in your PBS, right? Um, this is all fine. And then I cover all this. And then we're getting to session 3 where you get full. And this is all the stuff that I say right here. I say all that. Perfect. Then I go get them set up in the PBS Vortex. And they're watching me do it in the CRM. Okay. And I'm just going to add that. I'm going to edit the page and just stress that. I show them how the CRM, they just get to see the CRM. I'm not teaching them how to do it. They're watching me do it and I explain it. I even walk them through coming to this page here and following the protocols. Like I bring them to the instructor page. I say, hey, we're on session 2. We've already done session 1. Here's session 2. They can see that everything is spelled out, but they also can see that, oh, we're in session 2 and we're going to do session 3 next. They know where we're going. It's super important for people to understand where they're going. So I constantly just let them see it. Then I go into session 2. I go, usually by this, I've already covered all this. And I say, now we're here to set this up there. I'm just going to click on the protocols. We're going to go right here. And then I go and copy the description. I set everything up. I say it's all spelled out for us right here. But obviously I've done this a lot. This is all we're doing. And they see me just do it. Right. And then I get that set up. And then I create a password for them, right? Whatever they want their password to be. And then I go sign them up in SHG. Right? I go and enroll them in SHG. And then this is the one thing I wanted to clarify on here. Is I show them, right, that I'm modifying their pages. So I get the PBS Vortex done. I sign up in Savings Highway Global. I pull up their 8 pages to get them in, right? Um, this right here, the IBO explanation video, it's not here anymore. Right. And after I sign up in SHG, then I go into this is a new thing that I didn't put here before. So I enroll them. I let them know that, after I enroll them in SHG, I pull up their 8 pages we're going to modify. Right. And I just remind them, right, there are several pages to modify, and just focus on doing them 1 page at a time, following the training. We'll go over that shortly. Then I've enrolled them in SHG. I go and make sure I show them in their CRM where I add their full link, right, with their username in it in the appropriate spot under profile in the customer account and under the staff account information. I do both, right? I show them adding to both. And they also see the Bella Vita link in there, so they understand that it's part of what we're doing. It just it's complete. Okay. And I think I already did this. Hold up here. Hold on, session 2. And at that same time, I'm creating a staff account for them, right? So showing them both. Um, let's see, let's see. So I'm doing it at the time when I'm working with somebody, and you make sure you put the mobile number in, the email address is the one they want to use in there. And this is the time usually, like, if they don't have like Gmail, I make sure they had a Gmail. That's something that they usually have one by then. All that stuff is set up here, okay? And I make sure they can log in. This is really key. I have them log in, right? And then I show where the subscriptions are on how to do it, right, for them to sign up. And I just walk them through this. Now, there's something else that I do, and this is in the latest. I think it's in the latest. Now I'm going to go check it. But session 2 going to session 3, I start to review this with them, right? So I put their name in here. Like, if this is done, it's done. Then the Vortex, I let them know it's there. I say, yeah, I'm going to walk you through how to activate it today. Third thing, if they sign up Savings Highway, great, not, right? This is done, perfect. I let them know that we sign up on WhatsApp. If they already have WhatsApp, I add them to my group chat in WhatsApp, right? And that way they're connected, and that way I get to introduce them to everybody too, right? So I want to add that here. And in this email, you have their customer account, their staff account, both users the same email. So I make sure that I modify it in the CRM, right? This password. What I mean by that is when I create the password for their staff account, I also make that their customer account. Because usually I create something there by default, or I just do the auto one, right? Auto assign one. But I actually give them access to their customer account. Right now, doesn't matter because, if we're not marketing wine right now, or we're not marketing anything, eventually we will. Things will be added to that customer admin. So I don't know it's there. I put it in here. And then I put whatever their email or their password is there. And then I get all that done, right? And and then before I send this off, right? And then I spell us out, and I'm going to tell you guys how I do it. I go through the first, the fourth, and I say, hey, this number one thing, you're going to need this when you go through the training. It's going to reference this box because it will. I go, it's going to reference this Dropbox. That's the link if you need it. It's going to reference the Google Drive, and then there's a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that if you haven't already. But this is the Google Drive that's referenced in the training because it's in the training. I go, and then here's the kiosk offers you'll need for step 2. So you'll come back and you'll get them here. This has my free apps on it. You'll need that for SHG, and there's going to be a training on that as you get going on when you need to, where you need to put those, and there will be. And then RebelForm and Coinbase, right? I assume that you can do these when you're doing step 2, but what you need to focus on right now is in purple here. It's number 4. And sometimes I even make this larger. Now they're seeing this. Like I'm walking through the email before I send it to them. Then I do copy and paste this email without the password. I take the password out after I do it. Because that's their staff account. We don't want to put that in anywhere, right? But I send their password to them so they have it. And then I know that I've sent this to them. I'm just going to say, but if you copy and paste this into the CRM, make sure you remove the password. We don't need to put that there. Okay. And then I send this to them, and this has everything they need to do for session 2 going to session 3. And then what's really important, and I'm going to go right here right now. I'll let them know that 5 days on the PBS Vortex, look at the links. There's an IBO video and when to show that to them, and that's what I'm going to modify on here, as well as I have it right here. So make sure you follow up with their progress on step 1 for a week out or sooner as they agree. In my calendar, and I'll go to let's go to Monday. I have my urgent. These are all the ones that I have doing step 1. And I'm making sure they get it all done. And I check with them once a week. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? How are you going? And it doesn't take that long to check in. I'm doing it usually by text. If they don't respond, then I usually give a quick phone call and see where they're at. Because if they don't complete step 1, I can't put them into B marketing. And if I don't put them into B marketing, we're just slowing up the process. But some people are going to take weeks to get there, right? If they're not ready, they're not ready. And they know what they got to do, get their pages done. That's great, right? We just keep going on it. I can close this. I'm going to go back to this. I want to modify the IBO program, right? And I want to show you guys this. You guys saw we modified this. I did it on a Tuesday already. I took the part out where they watch it up ahead. We're modifying their stuff, getting it going. The IBO video, I like to give it to them to watch like in closing. So yeah, I'm going to change the end. So we're going to add them to the Google Calendar for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday trainings, along with your study halls, right? You're gonna see that they're gonna watch you add them to Google Calendar, right? And again, make sure that when you're adding somebody, right at the very bottom down here, it's only invite others for the guest permissions on all things. It's invite others, not see guest lists, not modify event, just invite others. And you're just going to add them all to this, and that they can't And if you do that, they don't, that way you're keeping everything up to speed as you're building your teams and what the calls are, right? And you just put them in all of them, right? Every one that you're going to do for your team, you put them in. And I tell them to, make sure you accept them and accept them for all events because these are weekly. That way you want them to know when the events are. Okay, now you guys, and learn from what I've done. I put the location on every one. So this one shows elevated.live. But when you go to like the Tuesday one, which is a really important one, I'll let them know like how to access it in their CRM, right? When you're in the CRM and they're going through stuff, show them where the Zoom rooms are. Right. This one will say it says here, or it says or from your CRM access. Like I spell it out. But I also show them in their CRM when they log in where it's at, where the Zoom rooms are. I show them where that is. Okay. I'm gonna send that email out to them. And again, I've marked it done if they've done it all. I let them know what they've done along the steps because these are the things they need to have done. And the reason why that email is so important is because this is the stuff they got to get done before they go to 3. And this lets them know where things are at. And they can just follow it. It's all spelled out. That's why we did it. We got to know where we're going and how we're going to get there. And if they're not done with some things, then I even say right here, like, do this ASAP. Now I've already got them in. I'll just put, upgrade to member ASAP. Okay. You want to do things like that. Okay. If for some reason they decide Savings Highway Global, same thing. I'd come here and just say, set this up ASAP. And I'm giving them the link to use so that they don't just sign up under the link off their websites, right? You got to mind your business. All right. Now it's very rare they don't do SHG. I have some that don't do it right away. Even $20 like is a stretch, and that's a possibility. But they're like, I can do it next Friday or whatever else. It's good to set your note on it. Let me know when you do it, or set an appointment to do it, and walk them through it and set the stuff up. Right. Um, so same thing, you can do all that, or this is done. Okay. I put little notes on it. 2 and 3 are all there. And then I emphasize this in purple. And I do like sometimes saying, I'm going to make that large, or, I mean, you could go, I don't want to go huge. I just go to large. And I say, you're going to go right here. And I walk them through it. Remember, we're on Zoom, right? I walk them through it. I say, okay, we're going to go here. You've been on this page already. You did session 1, or you say you've already done session 1 and 2, but they're always here if you need to review it. But you're just going to keep going down, straight down, in order. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, excuse me. Watch this and do the work. And just keep on going down. Watch it, do the work. Watch it, do the work, and so on. Right? All that is what I'm going to have them go through and do. Watch this, do the work. Watch this, do the work. All of it. Right? And then um I'm gonna go back here. It's all about the follow up. Now, if they're really ready to get going, they can knock it out in a weekend. Some people take longer. Once they get done with step 1, I tell them, when do you think you can get this done? And you know what? There's a lot to do in it. It's just what it is. It's got to get done. Once they get step 1 done, then I give them the V marketing email and I put them into session 3 stuff. So right, session 3, let's go here and go there. We can close this. Oh, I'm not actually, hold on. It's the IBO presentation.
You're watching right now.
The Facebook groups in step 1. So walk them through connecting. That's what I was walking through right there. I walk them through that if you can. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Lynn, come here. Lynn, can I get a picture, please?
Right. So we no longer got to get their information, submit it, put it in anything. It's all self-contained on the IBO page. They come here, they can watch this video, and they can come here and just complete this form and get going. Everything is ready for that now. So they fill out that form, they go right to the next part, and then we have a way to process it and know where everybody's at and go through it. They got to make sure they put in their instructor name, right? Name, instructor name, all this stuff that they got to put in here, and they get going on it, right? And we don't cover it until we've got them to sign up with stuff. And this gives you some stuff to say, hey, um, this is, and I'm gonna stress this. If you had a problem getting them into SHG or Velavita or the Vortex and get that going, this is the point where you want to stress it, right? I'll just put this right here. Stress. This is for those that are committed. Oh my gosh. Much right there. Yeah, just stress that they're not yet active. If they're active, then it's perfect. But if they're not active, like say they didn't sign up for one or the other, just let them know that they're expected to be active in all the anchors to do this. That's a fact, and you can state it there. All right, and then you can just send them to this. Now, um, this they're going to see this in step 4 or 5. I'm bringing it up again just to reiterate it in case they missed it to help us all in that process. But this is the time that you can invite them into it, right? After they've just spent money on Velavita, Vortex, SHG to get their business set up, and now they got step 1 to do, I'll let them see that this is an optional thing for them at that time. All right. Now, if you got time in your session 2 and you're setting the things up there, you've changed your links, you can have them watch it right then and go forward. But I like to just tell them, like, if they're ready to do it, they can do it right there from that form. And but let me know if you're doing it so I can help track down and make sure that everything gets sent through. Just let me know if you're doing it. Um, you want to keep track of that, okay? Also, it's one of those things that if you know they did it, you definitely got to hold them accountable to making sure that they did become a member, they did get their vortex going, they're maintaining their vortex, they're maintaining everything as that gets going. We have a lot more, I guess, more accountability that we need to take with this. I mean, that's one of our biggest things. I got to tell you is how many people are using the IBO. Like, guys, I can. I got a story now. We got a guy that's been running for over 4 years, and he's caused an issue, but he didn't do any of the program. He just took that money, left, didn't do the triple R thing. That actually hurts that program. These are things that we just had so many people do that, and so we're just trying to stress that more. And it's an integrity thing. Like, hey, we got this great program for you to build. The reason why we have these programs is because people have been making this work. You know, you got to be dedicated to it. And I think it's just something we just got to stress, right? We just got to stress it, right? Okay. So we do all this stuff in session two. It's a lot of stuff to get done. And now it's just get through step one, get them committed, get through step one. And then we're going to get into the now money. We're going to get into the V marketing and get into stuff that can create a lot more now. But we want them to get that done, right? So we walk them through all that. They go through all that. Okay. Now, when they get done with step one, holy cow, that's great to celebrate. My gosh, it is, right? Now we go into session three and we're going to send that email to them, right? The V marketing email. It has everything in it. And it says V marketing in session three. It's been modified. So if you're using the old one, get the new one on the flow. Okay. And this is an overview training on the V marketing. They're going to get it in the session three as well. But and I have this in here in the session three, just so you know, they're going to, this is something we want them to see, but they're going to be getting it in the email. So let me show you that email. V marketing in session three. And we take them to the V marketing page, which we're going to go in a second, and it just walks them through all of this. Okay. Now the review is on session three. They should have already seen this, but when they're in the instructor process and it says into session three, I put it there as a review. This walks through the whole process of V marketing and how all that aspects works, right? And kind of go through it. It's there just as a recap. It's just a great. That's what the tool is for. But when we send that when we send that email to get them into session three, this walks them all the way through it. And the thing about it is this is the system now. I'm going to go right into it. We go to V marketing. That's the first thing they're going to study. And you guys, it's a lot, right? There's V marketing, and two, boom. 3, 4. We want them to go top to bottom through the instructor training. They've already done this, right? Indeed, it's already done, but that's all spelled out. Here's the instructor calls when they are, and it's all about the art of the BRT. Talks about all the stuff that's here, and then and then they can review session three. Like it's in that email. Now they should go there and they've already seen it, but there's a lot to take into V marketing, so we put it out there so they can go through it. Now let's go to V marketing, right? Everybody's going to start at assisted. Everybody. So they're going to be working with their instructor to set the calendar and get things going. Or work with your team on who they're going to set, right? If the instructor doesn't have time to do more than, part-time throughout the week, there's always somebody above that instructor that can help do the same process. And I'll put it this way, this is so awesome that we got this. It just is. All right, so let me go back to this. It's all spelled out here. Everything is, right? Exactly what to do. You get all the document stuff set up for them. So when you're in session three, basically you're setting up their Google Docs and the template of templates. And if you don't know how to do all that, this is something you're going to be walking through with your instructor, right? They all know how to do this. Your leadership all knows how to do it. Anybody that's a CSI and above knows how to do it, right? And they're gonna get sent this NDA when they sign up for for things. There's already one that they sign up for the PBS Vortex. They've already agreed to it. We sent another one out at that time. So we talk about it here, but they've already been sent that. So they received this. They agree to it when they sign up for the PBS Vortex, and they also get one sent out to them just to double do it. Okay. And then they should have all this already set up. You set this in session two. This is already done. And they should already have the PBS subscription set up. Now, if they don't have their PBS Vortex going, then they can't do the V marketing. They can't. I can't. I got to stress this. And you know what? I like people to, in the worst case scenario, they can build up. But there is a legal thing that we cannot ignore. And Jim really he listened to me say this when then he called me and he's like, Rory, I know you want to help people like get going and things, but if they're not doing it through the PBS Vortex, we cannot stand behind the lead if somebody wants to call out for canned spam or that they want to call out because they got contacted. That initial contact, once we have a relationship with them and we move them to our cell phones, that's great. That's fine. But when we're initially reaching out to them, if we're not doing it through the corporate system, we can't protect them if they say that they were unsolicited because someone else called that lead. We don't. It's got to be through our system. That initial contact has to be through there to protect ourselves. Should they say that we unsolicited called them? So when people say, "Hey, can I do it? Can I work the leads without the PBS Vortex?" No, it's a legal issue. And you guys, we take on so much already. I don't want to take on a legal liability or have that issue be there. So I'm going to state if they don't have the PBS Vortex, they can't work the leads. And I don't think I should even have to state that, but I'm going to just to make sure we're clear. I also want to make sure that it's put out there and you guys all understand. I am not going to take on the legal heat for somebody not using the system we put in place to protect everybody. I'm not going to. You have this set up perfectly. All that people got to do is buy the PBS Vortex for you guys those that know the actual cost to do it if you were to do it through another system or third party. We made this so cost effective and made it commissionable, right? Everything is laid out to where you basically, if you have 4 team members, you basically covered all your costs. Now you're in profits. Help them do the same and grow the business. We have such low overhead, low operating costs. So it's got to be there. But anyway, I've spelled this out. We've gone through a whole training, all this. It's all literally right here in this video. And they need to watch this. So when they're done with step 1, they're obviously going to continue to step 2 to keep building their PBS. But now we get them involved in this to watch this and then to get going. And you want to set a time with them when they can do it. So they watch the video. We're going to get you going on this. And they got the PBS Vortex set up. And then, they're going to do this based on this process. It's all right here, right? And then it's just a matter of, and then here's that video again for that full walkthrough. And this teaches us so much, right? And then the best way they're going to learn is by doing it, right? Making some mistakes, being, thwarted. I have an awesome freaking instructor right now that's setting me up really big. And she's been making some little mistakes on how she does the CRM. She's not always assigning things, but man, the momentum's going the right place. She's doing the right thing. And it's so easy to get that going. What's most important is that it's being done. The work is being done. Right. And then after they do through all this, they can go through the instructor training and learn how to do it better. But it doesn't make sense to learn everything until they're doing something. And the assisted V marketing, there is no pressure to call somebody, talk to anybody. They're just doing the behind the scenes stuff and they see how it works. And it allows us to build a business, build a team with them. And as they get students underneath them, and they're getting that leverage income, and they start seeing the growth and the actual real dollars happening, they're going to be a lot easier and more motivated to talk to somebody else and push their comfort levels. Things need to be done in a sequence, right? We got to prove things out. We got to make the impossible possible. We got to move people into where it's at. And that's what this whole process does. And you guys, this right here, every one of our, everybody that's got step 1 done and into the V marketing is going to be a lot more real for them to do it and participate in it and to keep feeding the team. And then it comes down to this. I'm going to come here. It comes down to this. How do you organize the lead process? Stick on top of the leads coming through. How do you work with all that to grow your business? That's what we're supposed to be doing. The money-making activities. Now we got to organize our leadership. We got to organize our instructors. We got to get everybody working together so that we can grow from this. And those that are good at BRTs are going to get better. And those that need to start doing BRTs, start doing the BRTs. And it's all to get somebody going. You can get somebody to start doing their own BRTs when they're seeing success. And the leadership side of this, we're going to talk on Tuesdays more and more. But you create one of the most incredible problems ever. You want to have controlled chaos in marketing. You want to have more customers coming at you than you can handle and be on the phone with. You want to actually be rescheduling people because you have too many BRTs going on and you can't just talk to everybody. You want to be overly slammed with the right activities. Why? Well, not all the BRTs show up. So you want to keep stacked. 2 and 3 deep if you're doing this full time. So you're going to be talking to people. And if you talk to somebody and it makes you late to talk to somebody else, that is a high quality issue. Has anybody ever gone to a doctor's office? Have you ever gone there on your time or maybe early and then started to wait 30, 40 minutes before you can get in? Do you know that most doctor's offices, if they don't structure that way, they lose money? They can't afford their staff, they can't afford their overhead. What we're doing is not different, what I'm saying, than what's already been proven in just the world, right? Now, we have some people that are just doing this and they have the luxury where, they want to make some money. They're not really pushing it like a professional operation like that. Well, some of us need to push it like a professional operation because we have professional needs for income. We have professional needs to help our team in the incomes and get them in here. This is what we do. It's the right activities. We stack it 2, 3 deep. We call them, we work it. I want to make sure that every hour, if all possible, every hour that I'm doing BRTs, I want to be doing a BRT, not just trying to call people. I want to be on the phone with them. So if I have my team setting me, and I got a lot of new people coming in and setting, my job is to make it successful, get it going, and then get them doing their own and being part of the team to grow and help bring others and duplicate that same process. That's what it is. I want to work myself out of a job constantly. I want to teach leadership to where the new person that comes in now has a team on the left, a team on the right, and now they can grow themselves and also feed those that are duplicating underneath them. How do I make that work faster and how do I get that vision to actually work? Create the chaos. Create the chaos. Yes, I've been testing this out. I've been working it like for weeks. And I love the fact that I'm spending more time actually talking to people and doing BRTs than trying to create my own BRTs all the time. And it's a great win-win. Now I still work 100 leads a week, and it's hard to keep that pace up. But when I do keep that pace up, I'm bringing more people in all the time, and my goals are going to be reached because I'm hitting the numbers I need to hit. And when you got somebody that can do full time, because we bring a lot of people that have the time. How do we utilize their time? This is how we teach them how to utilize their time properly. We get them to where they can do the BRTs and help the team below them. As the leaders above, we help stack them with their stuff below so they have people to work with. It's a great balancing act. And we're going to cover that on the Tuesday instructor calls. But I wanted to really just spend some time on it today to cover the change and make sure we went over there. Okay, now I'm going to do something that we don't normally do. I'm going to go to Q&A on this. Okay? Questions and answers about what we just covered. And I'm gonna drink some coffee. Hopefully it's still hot. All right. I'm putting this on I'm gonna put it on gallery. Is there any questions about this? Like the silence. There we go. Thank you, Joel.
Okay, so I have a question. Doing the V marketing, so those of us that are doing the SD, like the new leads, sometimes when we're doing them, they'll be like a day old, and then I'll do text one, and then I'll then get a message on the lead saying that they were assigned to a floor.
So hold on. That happens on the brand new ones. Okay. And I know this is good to bring it up there. We have a priority on how we create the leads and our partnerships on what funds all this. So when that happens, that lead just becomes that's it. We send it to the floor and let it do its process.
Okay.
And Joel, you got your notes on there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So when they come back through Goya, because you're part of that process, when they come back through, then they're directed if it's within days, right? If we did the right thing, right?
Yeah.
So when that happens, if you're in like usually it's going to happen within that first little bit,
right?
And this is a rare thing, right? It doesn't happen a lot, does it?
Not very often at all. No, not very often.
But that's definitely something that's tied to those. So what Joel's talking about, you guys, let me tell you something really cool about how we structure things. When you guys start working me marketing, you start out with our 2 weeks old leads, which are still great or older. They're great leads. But you get access to the fresh leads as you become a GSI, PSI, MSI, and because you know how to do it. You got more skills So we're always developing that up there. And the more you participate in, the more you're going to get here. All right. So Joel,
Yep.
great. I'm glad you brought that up there, but that's what that is. And what it is we we have a lot of leads that come in. There are certain ones that go to our partners on the specialist side, and that's our advanced team. That's a very special process that also allows this to even work. But
Right.
sometimes they're in the holding bin and things are going through, and either they indicated or they did something else, and they bump from our buckets we work into that bucket. It's
Right.
and that's when they cross over, and it's only going to happen that first little bit.
Yep.
And normally, and it's a rare thing because it's a sequence. Like they basically, um, yeah, it's a rare thing, but that's what it is. All right.
They basically purchased, right? And
Yes.
sometimes they came in again, and then they purchased on the second time they came in. So they're it's a completely different
So-
lead. It's no longer an SD.
Right. Well, SD, some of those. So we have these different purchasing, but you guys, we have different landing pages, and so sometimes they come in and we deem them an SD lead. We're taking it, and then they buy the other program, which is still us. It voids the one and moves over. That's what's happening. I don't want to go to the
Okay.
whole detail sequence, but you guys,
Yeah.
we market very heavily in a lot of areas. And I mean, you guys have seen it. How many times have you seen somebody and they bought 10 times from us over the years?
Yeah.
Right? They're still looking, right? And this is a good point. I'm going to segue for 1 second. You guys, how I talked about you can only control what you can control. There are different things happening with the people that are coming in the V marketing world to be a student. Some are ready now, some are looking for later, some are just buying it because it makes them feel good that they're looking for something outside of their crappy job they hate. But they're not ready to leave their job yet.
Hmm.
But they're going to buy it yet. And you guys, I'll tell you this. When people go out there and buy information online, which is what they're doing to come in here, a lot of times they don't expect they're actually going to really get a call. So when we reach out to them, they're shocked, right? They thought they were just getting information. Even though we tell them along the way, we're going to call you and guide you. We tell them, but people don't always hear what they want. They only hear what they want to hear, right? And they're just looking. They just want to look at it. And this is why in V marketing, I'm just going to stress, this is why in the sequencing we do, that third text is gold. That third text is perfect for stuff because I have gotten so many students from that third text. And when you talk to them, they're just people that they're just there's so many scams out there. They're very apprehensive, but then they go watch that. They're like, "Well, this comedian looks great. Okay, this makes more sense." They didn't want to talk to anybody, and then now they're ready to. Hopefully, so it goes that way. All right,
Thanks.
Tom.
There you go. Okay, hello. I have a couple of questions for clarification. Number one, you talk about the SHG. I'm going to that, and you keep saying about the 8 pages on SHG. But what are
Ready?
those 8 pages? I never get clarified with that. I mean, I know
Well,
about Velavita and their basics.
and here goes. I'm gonna pull up. I'm just gonna log into Valerie's real quick. So, and actually, I gotta check one thing on hers. Okay, so when I'm modifying their system for like Velavita, right? There's 13 pages. So I start arts and entertainment, and I have entertainment frequencies. That's one. That makes sense,
Okay.
Tom?
Yeah.
Okay, so but when it's SHG, I go to beauty and cosmetics, and I get beauty supplies. That's one. Then I go to clothing and apparel, and I got clothing she will love, clothing for women, affordable fashion, and then I'm going down to free stuff, and I got the $20 life hack, and then I'm going to go to pets and their needs, and I've got savings and benefits there, and I got Televet right there, and then I'm going to go down to sports, community membership for sports, and I'm going to go down to travel, and travel for less, and that's 8 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, I thought there was something all on one category of page that's scattered out.
No, that's 8 pages that have links you got to modify. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, now they do.
And I
Now,
and I
go
actually,
ahead.
I mean, I probably should show the Bella Vita pages too, so you guys know where they're at, in case if it helps at all. But go ahead. What else, Tom?
Okay, the other thing was as far as assisted setting up for the BRTs. Now that they do that after they sent text one, they get a reply from text one, and then they set you up for the BRT.
I'm going to break it down even more because, okay, and this is something we're going to have to repeat, and train and train and train and repeat because it's so important. So we send text one. We send all 100, right?
Mm,
Now we do responses and set point accordingly, right?
right.
And then after we get done with all those responses, now I go and send number two. Now, this is for those doing assisted, not those doing V marketing, assisted V marketing. I'm going to go send the I'm Your Specialist email with the attached ebook to all of them that I haven't set an appointment with. So I might be at 100. Now I'm at 90. So now I have 90 I send out that email to, and then I send text to. Now I'm going to deal with any responses that come in. And then the next day, so one day later, not 24 hours, but the next day. I don't care what time you got done on Tuesday, for instance, but Wednesday, I'm going to send text 3 to all the ones that are left that we haven't set an appointment with. But Tom, they're going to set appointments with people that responded from text 1, people that responded from text 2, people that responded from text 3, and everything in between. Make sense?
Yep. Okay.
Then they get a pipeline going. So that's 100. Then they start with another 100. Now they got 200 in their basket and they hit the fresh ones the same way. But by week 3 and week 4, they're going to have people responding from 2 and 3 weeks as well. They set appointments with them as well. Okay.
Okay.
Did that answer it?
Yeah. So you get assisted by all three texts, basically, not
They're
just the
doing
first one and then set
It's
up,
basically they're doing exactly what we do in V marketing, minus they're not calling.
calling.
We took their calling away, so that's a pressure for a lot of people. So don't do it
Mhm.
until you're ready. And Tom, we know they're ready when they actually realize this works. Oh my gosh, this works. I made some money. Oh my gosh, this system works. Now I can talk to somebody else and feel confident about it. That's what we're missing.
Yeah. And what about the three-way? You can't do that on the CRM, right?
Do a three-way in the CRM. That has to be done. So we removed. There's no three ways going on in this assisted. There's no three ways. They're just setting them up to work with their instructor, or whoever they're setting appointments for.
But if you have a bunch of them back to back to back to back to back, or double back to back like Rory does, you can get in Zoom, do a screen share with sound, and let your team listen to you do those BRTs.
That's actually how I like to train it. So like if you Monday through Friday, pretty much my team that's actually working with me knows that they can log into my thing and see me doing the work. So so they know that I'm doing it, and it's as much as I can. Like sometimes I'm doing it from the road, but whenever I can, I'm in there, so they can actually see me working the leads they set. And it's all so they get that repetition, they get it going. And Tom, it is so cool when they actually see one of their people actually sign up and get going. How they're like, "Oh my gosh, that works!" And now I'm like, "Okay, now we're gonna get you on your own doing this. Keep it going."
Mhm.
Does this help?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Robert Armstrong.
Oh, and happy belated birthday, Tom.
Hi. You guys share that awesome day. Tom, I don't know when I'm going to meet you one of these days, but it's got to happen somehow.
It
The
was a
virtual's
good day to
fine.
be born.
Yeah. We'll figure this out. One of these days, we'll figure it out somehow. Even if it's across the room or something, I'll just come meet you somewhere. We'll figure it out. You've been such a part of the family for so long. All right. Robert Armstrong.
Yes, Roy, could you expand on the follow-up of step one? I haven't, I wanted to see your Google Calendar, how you've got it set up there, and if you'd expand on that, I'd appreciate it.
On step one.
Yes, sir. When you
Yes.
call them back up, your Google Calendar, the way it was set up, that was awesome.
Yeah, even. So I'm going to tell you guys, this is the number one problem that I have had is getting people like they're so excited in session in session one, they're so excited in session two, and then it's like, oh, this is where we drop. So how do I do it better? And that this is the only thing that's been making a difference. So I'll show you what I do. Now, I've done, how did that come up here? All right, hold on. Okay, you see it now? So you can, the thing about it is I'm setting my days pretty thick, right? And this is, I'll go to today's. Actually, I'll go back. I'll go to like the 19th. So my days are really packed, but I have this urgent thing that I do, and I set mine usually it's somewhere around 5 o'clock. It's and I know that I can, and I have it set. And when I get to that, this is when I send out my follow up. So in the thing, I just have like the names of everybody I'm working with that aren't into the rest. Now, I got other notes down here. Anybody that I'm following up with to make sure they're doing something, I put in this thing so that every day I look at it and say, oh, where are they at? And I put it on. I have one that I have on a Monday, and I have one that I put on every day at 5 o'clock. So what I do is I check in with everybody, and then when I get somebody into session two, I add them here so that I know that they're in that follow-up process. And I keep them in here until they're actually into V marketing. If they're not into V marketing, they're here. They're here. And even if I know they're good, like I mean, like Dawn, and she's probably on here, she's awesome, and I have her as good just to put it on there. But I'm just keeping tabs where they're at, right? And then and if I put a good, then I know they're doing V marketing steady. And I mean, this is how many I got in that are getting to go, getting in the training, getting ready to get ready. They're all in session ones. I've been doing a lot, right? I'm doing like several a week. They're all there. And even the ones that I'm doing the assisted be marketing for, if I bring them in, I follow up with them, make sure they get going. My job is to get them duplicating. So that's why there's so many in here. And I want 10 times this. So I just create a time. So I'll show you how I do it. So I'll come on here and I'll just create like a time, right? And I'll just put I would just call it urgent, and then I would just put session one, or I'll just put step one check-ins, and then you have to go to more options, and then I just put in descriptions. I'll just put into step one, and then I just put, and then you can have another one that's into assisted remarketing. You can move them from one to the other. I go ahead and you can make it bold, right? You can color it up if you want. I think maybe not. I think it's bold, and I just put their names in there, right? So like, Betty, Matt, I just list them in there, and I know they're at. I mean, and whatever works best for you too. You can put like the time, but if they're in step one, then I put it on here, and I know that I'm going to check in with them, and I put it every day. I put it Monday through Friday. So I come here on the repeat, and I just go every weekday, Monday through Friday, and I set mine for 5 o'clock because usually I need a breather at that point, and I put it there and I'm going. But if I have it set at 5 o'clock and I know it's urgent, I know I got to do it. I do it all. And the thing is some people I have a thing where I check in with them on Mondays. So you can make one that's just for Monday, one for Tuesday. What day do you want to check in with them? But I carry mine over because what I do is I put it on there, and Monday I send out a text to everybody that's there. Where are you at? Where are you at? How are you coming along? It's just something for me to visually see. And I want to check in with them once a week because I want to get into be marketing. All right, how much can we get done this week? How much can we get done this week? And that's the one area because like if everybody I was training, you look at that list, if they're all doing assisted V marketing. First of all, there's a human nature of breakage, and I'm going to talk about that. You will never run, you will always have more time than you think to do this. People just don't show up right. So I can only control what I can control. But what I also do is I know that I got to build my business around the breakage of human nature. So I just expect everybody to show up based on their condition of life and where they're at. make sure but I'm ready to help them when they're ready to go forward. In 6 months, they might be like, oh my gosh, I got to start doing this marketing. I'm going to be ready for them because they're going to be on that list. Right. And I can organize that list, Robert, and everybody based on, okay, these guys are good. Follow up every couple of weeks. I can make it whatever I want it to make it. But the bottom line is I'm doing something to keep tabs on them down the road. I'm organized in something and I bring it to my attention on the days I want to. You may want to just do it on Wednesday. Fine, set it up for a Wednesday. Mine carries Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday because I got a lot in there. Eventually, I'll probably change mine. And I've already morphed it once or twice. And I might start changing it to certain days just because, but I make sure I add them to that when I do session 2. And I let them know I'm going to check on you every week to get this done. Full law of accountability. And I mean, think of that. How much time did I spend with that person to get them that far? I'm only going to win when they actually take off. Yes, we're risking a lot, right? We're putting a lot of energy into it. But I know more than they know. I'm also more successful than they're successful. So I got to make sure that I do the accountability to guide them. I'm the one that said I would give you a hand up and teach you what to do. Accountability. Have you guys not seen the world? Accountability is probably the number one reason why people have problems in their life. They're not accountable for their time. They're not accountable for their money. They're not accountable for their actions. But I can be accountable. I can hold them accountable. And I promise to work with them and be their mentor and teach them how to do things. So I'm going to hold them accountable. That's what that calendar is. And Robert, I'm glad you brought it up there because it's one of those things I just do subconsciously. Like I just set up my things and I follow up with people. And the thing that's really cool is they're in the text, right? They're in your phone, right? So I add them to my phone after I get done with session 2, or sorry, even before I do session 1, right? I'm adding to my phone. Well, now I just got a nice little text communication going back and forth, and it doesn't take long. And you guys, I copy and paste the same text I send all of them. So I just hit paste and send, paste and send, paste and send. I pull their name up, paste and send, paste. It doesn't take that long. I could do 100 probably in 20 minutes. So I set up an hour for follow-up, and in that hour, I'll call those that I feel like I need to call and check in on. Like I got a couple, I just call and they're like, "Oh, so nice to hear from you. Yeah, I'm working on it. Oh, Rory, I told you how to get those pages done. It's just been crazy at the office." I'm like, "No problem. Let's just keep going forward, right? Reset, refocus, recommit." That's all I'm really doing. Okay, Philip.
All right. Yeah, I just got a real quick question. The PBS page you were editing with regards to bringing in new students, the step-by-step process. What was that page?
The instructor page?
Yeah. Is that what it's called in your PBS?
Well, that was on the RRR247.com/instructor.
Yeah, I saw that page, but you had a PBS page up there that you were putting all that information in as well.
Training site.
It's the same page. I was just editing the actual instructor pages.
Okay. Okay.
I'll show you.
But
I'll show you.
yeah, because I saw the rank math up in the right hand corner. So I definitely thought, yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, yeah.
He's talking about the training site.
Oh, that's the okay. That I was actually just showing one of our member sites, the one I use for training. But I have rank math in mind too, but it's a little different, right? I'm on the pro version, which we're gonna talk about. Like we got to get that going. But like it's just stuff right here, right? And when I was in edit mode, because I was making changes, that's it. That's what you're saying.
Ah, okay.
I was updating it with you guys live. Like I don't like the way it was worded, so I just changed it with you guys live.
Okay.
I didn't have a keyword in here. Don't worry about rank math on the training page. I probably should though. Yeah, that's what that was.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Right. And then, hey, Philip, you
Yes.
know how to do this process. I want to see you on the Tuesday calls.
I'm usually there on the Tuesday
I
calls.
but I also want you on the millionaire course. I want you getting PBSs, right?
Yep.
You
Okay.
know how to do it, is what I'm saying. You've been there, right?
Millionaire course? No, not yet.
Well, we know you know how to do the right.
Yeah, I've been working those.
Yeah. So just keep. I want to see like get it going. I want to see everybody there. I'll just be like really blunt. You guys,
Gotcha.
we have this incredible process, and yeah, there's complications to it. That's why we train constantly. You
Right.
guys know that's why we have to train all the time, right? It's not. It's well, what we're doing is not easy. We make it easy because we train everybody. Gordon, go ahead. You're muted, Gordon.
Okay, unmuted now. Um, I
We got
have
Dean up
somebody
here.
that wants to really get started the V marketing quick. She's just come back after 2 years, hasn't been working on her PBS. Now, you're saying they had to finish all of session one before they start
One.
V marketing?
So I want them to have step one done before they do V marketing.
How, to me, that looks like there's a bit of time there. There's quite a few. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just stating the
So
fact.
no, no,
That-
no.
How much time do you expect, do you find people get through step one now? I know it's all changed since I've done the
It's
training.
basically 2 solid weekends.
Can do all of those,
It's like 30 to 60 hours of work. Right now you got different types of people, right? So you have those that kind of go through 1, 2, 3 videos and they're kind of like, okay, I get it. And they just run and get it done.
mhm.
And then you got some that got to watch every video and get the work done, which is fine. It's how we built it. So some people are, and I'm telling you, I've been doing this, but here's what I've noticed. V marketing and people actually sticking with it and doing it. If they haven't done step one, it's just they just don't do it. They don't have the conviction. They don't really believe in it enough to share it with others. That's what it's coming down to. So basically, I want them to understand it enough that they realize, oh my gosh, this all makes sense. I know what we're doing, and so I can believe to get somebody else involved. And then there's a problem of I don't want to talk to somebody and relay this until I see me making money. Well, I'm going to set appointments and I watch the system make me money, and now I'm going to become part of it. That's the reality that works. So, Gordon, this is all based on what's been working and what hasn't been working for years. How do we make it better? That's why I say they got to get step one done. Yeah, you know what? They want to make money quick. Great. Get them getting step one. If they understand step one and they're knocking out pages, and you're their instructor, and you're like, hey, let's go ahead and get the assistant V marketing, but let's get through step one, and they've gotten like 60% of it done, and they're sharp and they understand it. I guess I'm okay with that. But I guarantee if they like, here's what happens. If they don't finish step one, they're not going to do step two, and they're not going to do step three, and they're not going to get Google AdSense, and then they're not going to stick around. So I don't want to waste my time with somebody doing V marketing and train them how to do it for them just to leave because they're not convicted because they didn't do the work in the beginning. That's what's been happening, and in mass, right? Not like one. It's become the rule, not the exception. There's always exceptions. You got somebody that wants to get going, they're convicted, and they start knocking out pages, and they're like, hey, I want to get this V marketing going right now. I've got all these pages done. I get it. I want to do it. Sure, move ahead with them. But the general consensus is they need to be convicted and understand things, and there's just a process to it. And I want them doing the V marketing immediately. But Gordon, the ones that stick around and make it work are the ones that got step one done. The ones that actually believe in this, they see it. And it makes sense to me.
Yep,
Okay,
yep,
no,
yep.
that makes, I'm not arguing with all that. It makes sense. That's really good. But now I have something to tell them. It's 30 to 60 hours of work. Get that, get working at that, and then we can do V marketing. I have done session one and session two with her pretty quick. I promised to go into session three. Can I go ahead and do session three? Or do I have to wait till they finish step one to do session three?
I would put them in session three, which is session three is V marketing.
Okay,
Session three is V marketing, and I wouldn't put them in there until they're well or almost done with step one.
okay,
Now, if your word's your bond, so if you say you're going to put her in there, you can start moving on that, but you want to make sure she's really getting step one done. If they're not modifying their pages, they're not going to stick around this. Like they're not doing the work. So why should we expend our time and energy to teach them how to do V marketing when they can't even get their PBS going? It's all part of it, right? It's all circular to it.
yeah,
The PBS is the core of what we do. It's the center of everything. So if they're not building that out, they're not going to stick around. Right?
right,
All right.
yep. Makes sense. Thanks.
So Rory, I explained this yesterday to somebody. You get remarketing to become an instructor, right? Instructor in training. What are you going to instruct them? How to not finish your PBS in step one?
That's why it's
That's
all
the
tied.
easiest way to look at it. What are you instructing on? How to not do it?
And Gordon, I want to stress something that's really cool, and this is going to help you out because I know where you're coming from. I tell them, get your step one done, and then I want to get in the now money stuff. And you got to know, like, when we mean that, we're just going to teach them how to do the assisted marketing, and they're going to be feeding you, and you're going to be helping them make money by being the stuff in there. But I don't want to put anybody in a role to help them out that way if they're not going to be sticking around. If they don't get step one, they're not going to stick around, right? And they also got to know that they're part of this. Like, we're bringing people in based on the performance blogging system, and then everything tied around it. So it's just got to gel that way. But you should have more conviction. Like, we all should have more conviction on the whole process now because of this. Because when I tell them I'm going to help them make now money, I'm not kidding. I'm not messing around. And I don't need them to know how to do the BRT process. I don't need them to know how to talk to people yet. You know what I need them to do? Be a secretary and send out text 1, text 2, second email, third text, and set appointments for me. I can teach anybody how to do that. But I don't want to support somebody that's going to go away, right? So I want to make sure they understand what we're being part of. And also, that's going to make them feel good about reaching out to people and getting them connected with that. People have a set integrity. If they see the pages and modify it and make sense, now they have more belief. They need that belief. Like, you guys, I know for a fact that the performance blogging system will work, make money, generate traffic. So my conviction's so solid. Well, they need to have that conviction growing, or else they're not going to stick around. And the right people, they should, we want integrity focused people. So everything we do has got to just tie to that. And this is something I didn't really see until I actually was in the, working side by side with people that have been here for years that really believe this wants to work. Really were doing the right things, but something wasn't working. And then I realized what it was. And so how do we fix it? And that's how we got here. Andy. And then.
Yeah. Hey, Rory, this is going back to Tom's question as far as modifying the links for your new students. I actually have CRS, can't remember, but if there's any way you can sit there and put those 8, I believe it was 8 pages there to modify their links, so I don't have to keep searching for those.
I'm gonna help everybody. You guys ready? Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna show you guys a magic trick.
That's why I asked the question.
We go right here to step 1 page, which is the master page. And I'm going to go down here. Watch. We're in part 2. I'm going to go to part 3. Part 3 is modifying affiliate disclosure pages. Okay, I'm going to go to part 4. Boom. It's top to bottom right here. Entertainment and frequencies located in cat. It tells you where all of them are. Boom. All chronologically ordered from top to bottom of your PBS. All of them.
That's why I asked the question.
Oh, I know, but
Thank you.
It's all right here. And you'll get used to it. You'll get used to where you're like me, and you'll just pull up someone's site and just open all the pages up. Right. And but they're all right here. And you should know where they are on their site, and you all load them up there. And it's, I probably could, I try to make this as simple as possible, right? And then the Vortex pages, the thing about the Vortex is because it takes days to get set up, and they'll be able to do all this. And I just tell them, like, if you ever, like, I'd even tell them right here, right? If you have not yet received your PBS Vortex links, be sure to complete editing the content and make you the author, then correct the links as soon as you get them. Okay. But then the SHG pages are right here. Beauty supplies, clothing she will love, clothing women of fortune, unlock the secret, savings and benefits, televet, community membership for sports, and then travel for less. Boom. They're all there.
Perfect. All right. And then my last question is I'm still waiting on my links to do my other page. That's coming via email, correct?
Links.
Sorry, I'm forgetting which pages again. It's the page that we recently have to do with the
EB360 employee benefits.
Yeah, employee benefits, I believe it is.
You should have that link.
Okay. That's coming via email, right?
That
Should come
email
to your
could go
email,
into
but check
spam
your
or
staff
somewhere
account.
else, Andy. But
Check-
just look on your staff card too.
Okay. All right.
Brielle's got a copy
All right.
on the staff card, whatever she sends. An
Yeah,
email.
yeah. I've been looking for that too. So that I'm just kind of
So
wondering.
Andy, I'll follow up on that. Everybody should be done. So I'll check on that too.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a safe weekend.
And we're going a little over our time here, Alicia, and
Happy
then
Memorial
we're
Day.
going to
Forgot
Dina.
about that.
Alicia, you're last. No one else.
So question for you, when you said that you go to rrr7.com/master to go through all those steps that you just went through?
For the pages, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to know, like when you're setting up a new student and you're doing their links, all the pages that are Velavita pages are listed actually in step 1. Is that what you're saying, Alicia?
Yeah, I'm just confused because it's you kind of jump from place to place and I want to make sure I'm in the right spot.
Okay.
Because I'm actually just starting going through all this myself. I had some stuff happening in my family, and so I'm just getting started and trying. I'm really
Awesome.
kind of doing this on my own, so I'm frustrated. And I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out where's the best place to follow, because I started with that. And I've gotten through step 2, but now I'm like, there's a lot of things that I don't have set up. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get to where I'm supposed to be.
Okay. So, who's your instructor?
Linda.
Okay.
And she's great, but she's on a totally different time zone for me. It's hard for us to hook up sometimes.
Well, we'll get with Linda because we have other like study halls and stuff that she can access you to, right? Because we're all doing the same thing. But step 1, right here, and I'm gonna say this, like if like let Linda know, like Linda will plug you in where you need to be plugged in. But if you haven't watched this, you should go back. This is all brand new. How many pages have you modified?
2
pages.
I'm just starting that.
2 home
How long
posts.
have you had your PBS?
How long have I had my PBS? Probably about 5 months, because I had some medical issues in my family.
No, I understand. What is your PBS?
My PBS is oh geez, 1rr48.com.
So Alicia, I put the link to the training site in chat.
Okay.
That's where we're spending all the time at right now. Click on that link. It'll open up, bookmark it. That's where you go. Nowhere else. No other training, no other sites, just that one every day.
Okay.
Click inside step 1 and do not leave step 1 until you are finished with step 1. And don't try to look ahead. Just follow each step that he's got on there. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Just follow it down that page till you're at the bottom. It'll all come together as soon as you get to the bottom of the video.
I just looked at your site. We made some pages. I'm gonna refresh your site later. Did you back up the pages you did?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna reset your pages. Okay. I'm gonna reset them. They'll be reset by Monday.
Perfect.
I might be able to get it done today. So Alicia, I will reach out to you.
Okay. That'd be great.
At least send you an email. So
My first and last name pbs@gmail.com.
That's perfect. Wish everybody would do that.
okay. We're gonna reset it to the latest. There's some things on your site that I noticed that you got. I'm just gonna tell you this. I'm gonna be a little bit just for everybody to know. Your images on the top left, you have it set to 1. It needs to rotate, and you need to use the images that I give you. So don't change them.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I didn't do anything with those yet. So
no, I'm just telling you that when you get the new ones, just go
Okay.
with the new. Don't worry. And then I want you to follow the training. Step 1, step 2, step 3, just the way they are.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's get Dina going.
Thank you.
YouTube, you guys know where you should go. Go log